Colossians 1:21 through 23 says, "And although you were formerly alienated and hostile in mind, engaged in evil deeds, yet he has now reconciled you in his fleshly body through his death, in order that you might present him holy and blameless beyond reproach. And if indeed you continue in the faith firmly established and steadfast, and not moved away from the hope of the gospel that you have heard, which was proclaimed in all creation under heaven, and of which I, Paul, was made a minister." Well, if you're joining us in reading through this 6-day reading plan, today's reading is Colossians 1, and I encourage you to read that passage. I'm not a fan of professional wrestling. I believe it is a contrived and well-performed theater. The good guys and the bad guys change faster than you can change channels on your TV. But in one sense, it does present a picture of what Christ has done for us. At one point, mankind had a relationship with God. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, they walked with God. They were around with him. They were with him. There was no fear in their relationship with him. But that relationship changed when they sinned. Now, I can't tell you the wrestlers that my children were watching on the television one day. There was a tag team match where two wrestlers from one team would wrestle against two wrestlers from another team. And if one wrestler got in trouble, he would tag his partner, and his partner would come in and relieve him. Well, one day, one of the wrestlers tagged his partner, and as he was getting up and trying to get out of the ring, his partner attacked him. He threw him to the ground and pinned him. And this created a war, so to speak, between these two men. They were now enemies. Well, the next time I saw them on television, they were making up. They were apologizing to one another and swearing eternal allegiance to each other. Now, we all know that allegiance didn't stick, but allegiances like that don't pay the bills, and so eventually it was broken. But when they got back together, it's an interesting picture, although severely flawed, of what Christ has done for us. At one point, after Adam sinned, we were alienated from God. We were hostile to God, and we were engaged in evil contact. Yet now we've been reconciled. We've been brought back into a relationship that was broken. Christ did this on the cross, and it is through our relationship with him that we now have a relationship with God. We have a hope because of what Christ did on the cross and through his resurrection. We are no longer an enemy of God, but sons and daughters of God. We are no longer in a hate relationship, but in a loving relationship. We have a hope for the future, not a focus on the past. It's only through Christ that we have been reconciled, and it's only through Christ that we can live in a relationship with God.